What's up, everyone? It's me, Travis. No, I'm not sick. I'm just out here. I lied, okay? I feel like I'm getting a little sick, but that's not why I'm out on the couch. It's comfy out here. That's not even the reason. It's because um, me and Amanda have to do our podcast later today, so it's all set up out here. And I figured, why not? Why not stay out here? I just finished drawing some fun little doodles. I did my Kanye West piece, which was interesting because I got into Kanye and his history. And, I've never been a big fan of Kanye. And even, back when he was making really good music and not being like an absolute maniac from everyone's perspective, I think, hey, he's earned it. I don't know. He killed it. Objective, I think he's worth like $300 million. So in my mind, how crazy you are only matters if you don't have $300 million. You know, that's how I feel. Like if he had no money, like you can't, I feel like there's a relation there. You can't be poor and then be a maniac because there's nowhere to go. I mean, you can. Plenty of people are poor and crazy, and everywhere in between, like middle class and crazy. There's just like a more of a buffer zone. Like being crazy will affect your life, and regardless of the reason. Kanye West, I have no idea. I have no clue. I've never even looked at. I saw that documentary that his friend made about him, which was great, and it sounded like he had some mental stuff going on. I don't know, depression, bipolar. I have no idea. It's not my biz, man. But beyond that, like having $300 million and like allegedly saying, I don't know. Let me say that a million more times. I have no idea what he said or what he's done. I've like experienced Kanye West through many, many different proxies, like just different people. But apparently he says some whack stuff all the time. And people hate him now. Adidas dropped him and a bunch of people dropped him. And Amanda came up and told me, we're talking about Kanye, and I'm like, yeah, he's a successful guy. Like there's a point where you are so successful that I don't know what it's going to affect. You essentially have reached the echelon of society where, yeah, you could be this racist, anti-Semitic. There's so many things that I've heard through other people, like Hitler sympathizer. I don't know. But man, he dropped a new album recently, and it was all right. I don't know. But I think a lot of people had problems with his new music. Anyways, Andre, I don't know if I've talked about this, but Andre 3000 made that flute album, which I listened to. I'm not a big flute guy, but good on you, dude. Make what you want. He has the platform and what's his monthly listeners? That's a good metric for general success. Let's see I'm looking it up right now. Hopefully this doesn't screw up anything. Andre 3000. There it is. All right. Oh, he's got 1,996,000, which is low comparatively, but high for a flute dude now. He's a flute guy. I don't know how many he's lost. That'd be great to find out. Beyond that, so Kanye has like 61 million monthly listeners. And The Weeknd, and you may be like, 61 million, that's insane. But it's like The Weeknd has 114 million monthly listeners. And while I was posting today, I'm like, let's do some quick math. And I asked ChatGPT, like, what's the population of the world? And what percentage of the population of the world is 114 million? And it turns out that's like a little over a percent. 4% of the world listens to The Weeknd on a monthly basis. then I'm like, okay, what about America? Let's say all those people were in America, which they aren't, but that's 34% of America that listens to The Weeknd every month. And you may be like, oh, well, what about, Taylor Swift? She has 107 million monthly listeners. Which, who cares? I wonder who has the most net worth. That's another. So there's a few games I like to play. And if you are in my sphere, you know this. One is, what do you think their net worth is? Just because I think that's fun. And most people, to see what people like, what people say, and I don't know. I just think that's great. What do you think their monthly listeners are? Blah blah blah. It's fun. But Taylor Swift is objectively, and I've talked about her before. She's objectively a excellent businesswoman. Yeah, I won't go on about Taylor Swift. But anyways, 34% is a lot. That is an incredible amount. And then I'm like, 1% of his monthly listeners would be like 1,400,000 something. And I'm like, I'd be happy with that. But, I don't know. I obviously don't do, and this isn't a diss to myself, I don't do what is needed to get exposure. I really don't. And I struggle with, like, all the time. Like, sometimes I'll just straight up feel like, what am I even doing with my time? I make artwork. If you're watching this, you probably know that. I made music all last year. And I've been doing this as long as I can remember, just learning and trying to do different things with my time, creating stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, but why? Like, I don't have what it takes to, like, get it out there. I know that because it's boring and it's work. And who even wants art, dude? Who even wants it? I don't know. I make it. If you want it, talk to me because I got it. But oh man, I don't know. 1%, 1 million. If 1 million people like my crap, I'd be like, I did it. I did it. I mean, I'd still want to, keep growing, but oh man, that's crazy. But 114 million. I'm pretty sure he's the top listened to dude on Spotify. Great job, Abel. Great job. I don't understand why. I think he's wearing the MF Doom mask. I don't know if you've seen that. Well, it's not like directly MF Doom, but he says it's like an homage, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like wearing that mask. One dude's done that the whole time, and that was MF Doom. Rest in peace. But yeah. Anyways, just a little bit of what I'm talking about right now. What am I working on? Arizona was fun. Me and Amanda went there because randomly I looked up ticket prices and it was $68 round trip. And I'm like, hey, you wanted to take some weekend trips, so let's do it. And we bought those tickets, got an Airbnb. The Airbnb, we got there, and oh my god, like we got in late. So we were outside the building, and I'm like, how do we get in this thing? No one was at the front desk to let us in, and we were out there for a while. And then some kind man let us in, but still no one was there to check us in to get to our room, which sucked. And that was a whole ordeal. And I really came like to what this wall that I've always had with Airbnb. I'm always worried that it's going to go wrong because I don't think they have the infrastructure to actually help if something goes bad. And oh man, It went bad, and I contacted everyone I could, and none of them ended up helping me. The guy at the front desk who was supposed to be there came out randomly, some security guard who's probably getting high somewhere, because it's like almost midnight. Like, and if I was a security guard who's supposed to be watching the desk, I've never like drank or smoked or done anything illicit on the job, but I could get it. I get it. What else are you going to do? Like, he's probably just smoking a joint, like in some common area somewhere, and I'm like, look, I just want to get to my room. Like, no, not dissing that guy, but man, Airbnb's infrastructure for helping people with problems remotely, because they couldn't. How could they get us in our room? It really just came down to this random security guard guy who was doing his thing somewhere else. Definitely was that. I went behind his desk. They had the security cameras up and, fully logged in. And I have a background in cybersecurity and in IT and all that. So it's just like I could have ruined this place, but I did not. I just like tried to communicate, but we got in our room and the AC wasn't able to like be changed. It was weirdly hot, and there's no matter what we did, we couldn't like move the thermostat, so it was just hot. And if it got too cold, it turned on and made it hot again. So that was stupid. And then the AC made a bunch of noise. It was crazy. The room was whack, but on the roof there was a cool pool, and then they had this cool common area and fitness center on the 8th floor. So that was awesome. And we walked around. We saw Chase Field, where the Diamondbacks play, just through a glass door, but we just walked around like me and Amanda do. Like when we travel, essentially all we do is walk and take public transit where we need to go, which is, arguably one of my favorite things to do, period. In any places, walk around and explore. We walked all the way out until, in cities where there's like, it's on the outskirts and all is there are like pipe stores and like glass industrial park, all this industrial crap. And we found this little taco shop out there right by this dispensary, which is hilarious. Great location for this taco place. And we got a taco. It was really good. I thought it was going to be good because it's always those random places in the middle of nowhere that are great. Then we walked a little bit more down the road and found this super like exclusive, like, no, you're not finding this fish and chip shop anywhere else, called Pete's, I'm pretty sure. And it was really interesting. They had, instead of like actual pieces of fish, they had pieces of fish, but they were like in squares, which was crazy, like formed patties. So that was fun. And then we kept walking, and all I'm getting to is we went to the casino, which if you've watched most any of my podcasts or listened to them, you know that I love gambling, and I'm also relatively successful at going out and gambling. I could usually extract $1,000 or more from a trip. And it's only because I've gone a few times. Last year I went 11 times to Vegas, and that's not counting like Lake Tahoe, where they have casinos there too. But I really wanted to figure out the system, so I went a lot and I figured it out. I mean, like, you may be like, oh yeah, you figured it out. It's like, yeah, dude, like there's an actual, I could teach. I know I can, because I taught Amanda, except she doesn't follow the rules. I could teach anyone all these methods, and as long as you stick to your guns and stick to your rules, because that's the hardest part, you'll win. Anyways, sidebar, don't get me started on Vegas, boy. Basically, I went to the casino and I almost immediately just started winning money, and Amanda almost immediately, she wanted to bet with $100, which is it's hard to build a bankroll with $100 because that means you basically have to find a loose slot machine or get a big hit, like a full double, like getting a payout from a roulette on a black or a red or whatever. Like you really, it's hard. So, um, she took out her 100. I usually roll a dice, and before we went to Arizona, I rolled a dice in preparation to figure out my bankroll, which was $700. And long story short, I won $1,000. So she was mad because Amanda, I don't know, she's competitive in a way and is envious for sure. She can be kerbobbled from me winning as I do because I make it look effortless. And she's like 100, but probably in the podcast we'll talk about it. Our tremendous tremendous talk on Spotify. But yeah, she got pissed, and then I wanted to go back. I wanted to keep going. I'm like, I wanted to bet one more 100, and see what I could get, and she was just done. And I'm like, oh my god. And I'm not, when someone's in the Vegas vibe, as I call it, Vegas energy, you connect to that Vegas energy, you start winning, like you gotta see it out because you could win a lot. You're just clear, you're in it. But whatever. We left. And then we went to a lot of cool places to eat and drank at some cool bars, and that was that. It was a great trip. And the winnings from the casino, I ended up paying for the whole thing, and also we also probably paying for all of our food and whatever we do, which was excellent. And I don't know. Man, this is going to go down a Vegas road, but I don't care. And then, so recently, just last night, I saw a story I posted on if Vegas was a video game, and it had this like pixelated, really cool, like map of the strip with all like, just like an old school video game. It's very cool. And then I'm like, man, how cool would this be? And Amanda's like, oh yeah, that would be cool if it was a game, like an actual game. And I'm like, and I just played Dave the Diver on my Nintendo Switch. And oh man, if you haven't played that game, go get it. It is dope. Like it is so cool. I will play that game. It's probably one of my favorite games in the last 10 years. And it's this like somewhat detailed pixelated like adventure with anime drama, and you're like this guy who dives and fishes, harpooning fish. You bring back what you take, and then you work at this sushi shop, so you're helping this like expert sushi chef hire and run this restaurant, and that's all you do. And then they have all these backstories. It keeps getting deeper. There's these big bosses. It is so much fun. And I'm like, oh man, like, so what if it was like Dave the Diver, but it's Vegas, baby? And that's always what I have a show that I have in my head at all times called Vegas, baby. It's like that one Oregon show with Fred Armisen and I think Carrie is her name, Portlandia. It's like that, except Vegas. But the video game, I'm like, okay. And Amanda went to bed early because she has to wake up early, so I stayed up and watched like these terrible, depressing crime documentaries on Netflix. And I'm like, okay, so how do you show up to Vegas? And maybe at one point you could show up on a bus, or whatever. How you show up kind of like dictates how easy the game is. But the pure normal version is you show up in this crappy car, like just run down. You just made it. You just run out of gas, and everything's pixelated. If you look at pictures of Dave the Diver, that's what I want it to look like, and also the maps and everything. So there's like 3 dungeons. One is off strip, second is Fremont Street, and the third is the strip. I know people will like argue with me about that, but some people think Fremont Street is better than the strip. It's different flavors. But essentially in each dungeon, like, are opportunities to make money, and you could choose to, there's some nefarious ways to get money, like you could sell drugs, or you can be a stripper, or you can like pick up cans from recycling. You could just like farm cans for recycling, and or like become a bartender at a casino. There's a few different career paths to create your bankroll. And then so there's like a day night cycle. So you during the day you have your shift for whatever you choose to do. And of course, I think when you could go between them, but you like build skills within them. So you'd want to focus on one. And I think one of them could be a dealer and it could give you an edge, but regardless, you go and you have this crappy apartment which you could customize. And so during the day you work, and then in the afternoon you could probably, and this is all stuff I've been just developing last night. Morning work, and afternoon probably still work, but maybe, and at any point you could skip a cycle and you could just hang out at your apartment and do funny things like go on dating apps and just live your life as this person trying to make it in Vegas. And then at nighttime is when you could go to the casinos. And so whichever dungeon you're in, basically just they put a different mask on the casino. It looks nicer, it looks crappier, and you grind to get to the top level to live in that penthouse suite and to live that Vegas life. And you walk the strip and you could go eat at restaurant, like it's exactly like what me and Amanda love to do in Vegas. And I'm like, this would be a dope game because all the slot machines would have slot machine brains, so they would act the same. And you could play poker, you could play craps, you could play blackjack, you could play roulette. And within that platform, that infrastructure, are these hilarious stories like Monkey Island, which is, I think Dave the Diver is inspired by, because there's lots of silly stories and fun things. You could like date someone if you want. You could get deep into the crime underworld, and you could become the best, stripper, just funny side quests that would be a lot of fun to do. I don't know, just a fun, charming little game where you could, and it's adult, so it's like a little sexy, pixelated, hilarious, like cheeky moments. And that's what I'm working on right now for fun. I should be working on my zine, but for some reason I just don't. Weird, motivation's a weird thing. I spent a good amount of this month not drinking or doing anything like that, and it's cool. I think it's the healthy option. It's just interesting, the whole drinking and how drinking's insane. Like, it's funny on one hand, you have a lot of prohibition in America, like on things that, like heroin is fully illegal, like crucially illegal. And it's probably because it's great. And I mean, great as in the experience, not for you. It's not great for you, obviously. Like crack. And then you have like prostitution. And then in a lot of states like California, gambling. And what we say is good or bad, like we have a lot of things that we say, hey, no, it's bad. You can't do it. You can't be trusted to even think about partaking in these things, you grown adult. And I'm of the thought that grown adult, and this is why I'm going to go, all roads lead back to Vegas, I'm telling you. That's why I like Vegas. Not that everything is like legal there. You could surely find whatever you want. Like Vegas is a mirror of the person. So for me, I see a giant puzzle. And it's so funny because I don't even get like hammered. Like when I'm there, I'm usually I don't even think about getting drinks because it's like I'm not there for that. I'm there to try to extract cash. And I get comped rooms, and it's a fun ending up usually cash positive vacation. And oh man, where was I going? Oh, and so like I like that in Vegas you could go and you could just gamble yourself into a rut. You could straight up ruin your life in Vegas 100%. And no one's out here trying to like cancel Vegas at all, which is very weird, but also very cool in my opinion. Because my opinion, because like lots of things get canceled for doing less than Vegas does. So it's like this entity that exists. It's a worldwide destination where you could, you know, do drugs, spend all your money, and die. And I'm sure people do. And I like that. I think it's, the right of the human person. And if that person can't regulate and they want to do all that stuff, hey, it's not my biz. But in America, we're totally okay with making available and building traditions around drinking. And drinking has been proven to be a terrible thing. Like, there are some drugs that you do and you have no inclination to hurt anyone or do anything that is counter to life, like kill yourself or whatever, or like you just don't do it. Usually it's the stuff from mushrooms or weed or whatever, from what I've heard. And alcohol is known for doing all of that. Literally, drinking kills people every year, and drinking and driving kills people every year, and drinking totally, I'm willing to say 100% of the time, can lead to domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, general bad decisions. And we get hit with these advertisements all the time. Like, you just have to be 21. It's like, dang, okay, yeah, let's do it. And that's wild to me. But I know it's because drinking's been around forever, and it's deeply ingrained in our culture. And even though there's data, like I'd say, like most people who don't do heroin, it seems as though you just pass out in bliss, and then when you wake up, you want more, so you may go out and do some nefarious deeds. But drinking's something a lot of people do. I don't know what the numbers are on that. I feel like I looked it up, and it's like 50%. I don't know, but a good amount of America drinks, and it creates problems. It ruins lives, but that's not prohibited for some reason. We tried at one point. It failed spectacularly. Because like most things, crime fills that gap. Oh, alcohol is illegal. Well, let's get the people alcohol, and then it creates a dangerous situation, which is why I'm kind of like I'm on the side of and who knows, maybe people will just think I'm an absolute insane person. But I think everything should be available, so that the market can regulate and tax it, so then you get a cleaner product, a cleaner experience as far as like storefront. Your dealer isn't a criminal anymore, so then you have like regular companies trying to make a great product and create a safe environment. And I think that I selfishly would want to walk into the store that sells it all and be like, wow, this is crazy. I would see the branding, the Apple Store-esque type of experience where they have like, the boutique lounge where you could sample the products you just bought or whatever. Like you like just imagine this absurdity. Like, how crazy would it be to see several different brands of cocaine packaged like in a delicate nature, like the unboxing experience of an Apple phone, like how crazy would that be? I think that'd be interesting. And then I know people would be like, well, people would die. And my respond to that is people do die. They do. They do die. And I feel the same way about prostitution. Why not throw it on the top of the whole pile? Because if you want, like, there's always been the argument, like, my body, my choice, and I want to apply that to if someone decides to sell their sexual wares. Isn't it their right as a human being? Do they not own their body? So, in Travis's world, I'm telling you, okay, this is perfect. San Francisco. You could keep it in a red light district or whatever, just like Amsterdam. Like, no one's tripping. And I think if you take that power away, I think people will always choose the legal version of things, because it's clean. You wouldn't have those dealers and people. I know people are probably going to say, like, whoever watches this is going to just, I don't know, I'm a maniac. I want to see the San Francisco red light district where they have those sweet, like, crazy Apple stores full of every drug you could think of. Not that I'd even partake, because I don't want to. I don't want to do heroin or any hard drugs. I would love to go just peruse and see the branding. And then down there's an MGM Grand, which is excellent. And then they have, like, these little lounge boutiques where you can, if you want, pay for sex. And I know everyone's losing their mind right now. All two of you. And then everything is safe and regulated. I think it would do a service to helping sexual, like, assault, like, with the human trafficking. I feel like it would probably help out. But I don't know, man. How do I even end up in this road? Down this road in this podcast on the couch. It's all good. I think, America, we're doing our best. We're brand new. I feel like I've been thinking about that more and more. Like 100 years ago, it was like 1924. Wasn't that the Great Depression or somewhere around there? Like, we just got here. How bizarre is that? I'm thinking, like, even like the last 1,000 years. Like, if you're lucky, you live 100, and most of us don't get to 100, but let's say that's just what it is. And we pump out little humans when we're 30, so, or something like that around there. But the further back you go, it's younger and younger. But regardless, it's like, we are so new, and we give ourselves so much crap. It's like, dude, we just got here. Like 150 years ago, it was the Old West. They're straight up cowboys. It's insane. People were riding horses. Like, colonizing America. It's a few generations. We're like a stone's throw away. Like, great grandma Bunny, one of my relatives who has passed. She passed on Christmas Eve, which is interesting. In our family van. But I don't know when she was born. But if Grams, my mom's mom, was born in I think it was early 30s, then her mom maybe it had to be maybe it was late 10s. Like, we're talking about early 1900s. Like, how crazy. Like, I knew that person, and at that point I never even thought to ask great grandma Bunny what it was like to live in frontier America. Not that it was like, we were on the back end of it. I think, like, the Industrial Revolution had been kicking off, and, like, she saw cars for the first time. Like, it's insane. I never thought And I thought about this like last week. I'm like, all these old people you see around, these are all just like capsules of very specific, unique information about history, you know? And I have dinner, and me and Amanda have dinner with Grams every month. But she's from the 1930s, dude. That's crazy. 1932. As she was born then. She was 20 in 1952. She had her 20s in the 50s. Anyways, time is insane. Talk to your elders, dude. If you have alive grandparents, Grams is my only one that's alive. Grandpa Jim, Grandpa Bud, and Grandma Joe have all passed. And I never got a real chance. I never was in the headspace to ask these people what they were all about. Except Grandpa Jim, I barely got a chance before he was hit by a car and died. And he was an artist like me. I was like, that would have been a great relationship. But it's like, I guess I'm going to end this with this. Like, if you have grandparents alive, have dinner with them once a month, man. Like, talk with even your parents. Like, they're relics, dude. They have like the coolest information. They experience life in a way that we're going to experience. Not in the sense that we're going to see. We saw, I mean, in my lifetime, I saw the internet become a thing, the home computers and technology really taking over how we do our lives. It's an incredible invention. And we'll probably see like several other things. Because Grams is out here still, you know. And she's going to be with us for a while. Grams is going to turn 89 in February. Happy birthday, Grams. But anyways, talk to your elders. It's been a great time. Thanks for listening. My name is Travis Straw. I'm on a couch right now. And have a great weekend. Have a great life. Remember to live every day. Really take it in. Never live a day where you're like, what did I even do today? Sometimes I do that, but that's just because I am reflective of the day I've just done. I don't know. Meet with your family. Have dinner with your grandparents. Ask them about their lives. It's so special. Life is the only special thing. Everything else is fleeting. Well, life is fleeting too. But we'll see. We'll see how society goes. You know how sucky? Oh, man. Hopefully I don't will this. Not that I have this power. It would really suck if we... Like, World War II was bogus, to say the least. Like, the worst. Most... just incredibly depressing, tragic. If we were to get into a conflict at that scale today, we're boned. Oh, man. Anyways, have a great weekend. Okay. Bye.